Hey everybody, good to see you. Got a Bears victory on Sunday. That's thumbs up. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt our church attendance at 10:30, which has been awesome. My goodness, record numbers this past week again. I mean, record numbers for after COVID. But the reason I'm standing here today is because I wanted to have Schoop's in my background. This is Schoop's in St. John. I mean, if you're from the region, hopefully you found that Schoop's is kind of a staple food for all of us. But the reason I'm standing here today is when I was teaching this past weekend about indifference, I came straight back in my mind to a conversation I had in one of those booths about 15 years ago. I was sitting across the table from someone and I just said to him, I said, hey, tell me what you want your faith to be in your life. Like, do you want it to be central to who you are? Do you want it to be scale of 1 to 10, like a 10? Do you want it to be absent? You think, I don't believe this, I'm not in, or is it somewhere in between? Now, his answer to me was that he was a 6. And when people answer that question with a 6, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it makes me mad. And here's why. I understand why people might be a 6 with the devotion to their faith. I mean, life happens. Difficult things happen. I talked with someone coming out of our service on Sunday who had been at Suncrest just for the last 2 weeks, and his life was falling apart. And 10 years ago, he essentially walked away from God because of seeing his mother die with dementia. Like, I get it that life will take you from being a 10 to an 8 to a 6 to a 4, and that for a temporary time, like I've been there, I've been like, I give up, right? And I get it when people say, I don't believe anymore. Right? I don't believe who Jesus was. I'm not trusting in God for my eternity. I'm like people can make that decision. I disagree with it, but I understand it. But here's what I don't understand. Someone who knows what Christ has done for them, someone who says, I believe it, and then their conclusion is, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want this to be about a 6. I'm aiming at a 6. And of course, that's what's frustrating to Jesus, and frankly, I think frustrating to those of us who are trying to follow Jesus with some devotion, because what happens is people who are halfway devoted are representing Christ in ways that are horrible. They're not prioritizing the kingdom of God in their lives, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad today. I just really want you to think about what you're aiming at. And I want you to aim, if you believe Jesus is who he says he is, then at going all in on a devotion to opening up the kingdom of heaven to everyone, and especially to the next generation. Thanks to all of you who texted in for the next gen response. We got some awesome responses. And thanks for all of you who are coming out on our weekend services. I love those of you who are still online, and you need to be for your health reasons, but I loved all the interactions I had this past weekend. So keep it up and aim for 10. Thanks everybody.